Welcome everyone. Today we are going to have a look at the Pointless top 10 weirdest NPCs in World of Warcraft. And I often encounter such NPCs, like those with a unique name and appearance that are standing in the middle of nowhere, but they don't seem to belong to any quest. At least I can never find the quest that this NPC belongs to. Maybe it's cut content or something, or they're just there to be there. Today we're going to have a look at those weird NPCs.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things. Why are we flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin.
That's good.
10. Number 10 is Victorebenfall.
Oh,
Victor's a
yeah.
Worgen druid in the first aid place in Dalaran, and he's just chilling in a bathtub. You walk in here and you look around and you're like, what?
You know what? This one actually surprised me. I was so shocked. Like, I entered this building. There was actually a quest nearby. I had to go there. And I looked and I'm like, wait. Is that like a druid in his like water form or something taking a freaking bath? Or is that an actual creature taking a bath? Like, that one surprised me.
Is that a sea lion in the bathtub?
Yeah, I thought so
but
too.
But apparently he can't shapeshift out of aquatic form. If you talk to him, he says, "What are you looking at? Ain't you ever seen a sea lion before?" And you go, "Not like this." And he goes, "Yes, I'm a druid. And well, I'm kind of stuck like this for a while. I was patrolling the sea around the broken shore when an infernal crashed down into the water right on top of me. The blast was so strong it instantly knocked me unconscious. When I woke up, I was here in the care of the nurses. They say after a few days I should have the strength to shift back, but in the meantime, I'm stuck in this contraption to keep me from drying out.
That's
Do me a
embarrassing.
favor and don't mention this to any of the other druids. They'll never let me live it down." So yeah, that's pretty much it. He's just a druid stuck in aquatic form in a bathtub. And great shower curtains there, by the way. Very good.
Yeah.
And that's number 10. 9. Number 9 is Arako the Hunter, and Arako is an orc hunter down in Vazgir just hunting fish.
He's
and
shooting
for some
himself.
reason everything's going real fast down here. I don't know why. I don't know if we've gone like deep enough to where the laws of physics change, but something's going on.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny because Arako kind of reminds me of Billy, the my WoW Machinima orc hunter.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, there are so often such NPCs, and I sometimes think that some also belong to like cut content or something, where there was like supposed to be a quest. Same with this. Like, I have like one example. So this walrus here, right? Like this sea lion here. Maybe there was a quest where you're supposed to give him something so he can shapeshift again or so, right? And maybe Blizzard actually cut this. So it was supposed to be like a quest where you gather something, maybe some herbs, and you help him shapeshift again. But they just cut it or something.
Vazgir just hunting fish. And for some reason everything's going real fast down here. I don't know why. I don't know if we've gone like deep enough to where the laws of physics change, but something's going on. But I think it's funny because
I'm
Arako
sure some
kind
is
of
cut
reminds me of
content.
Billy, the my WoW Machinima orc hunter. But there's a quest where a guy's like, "Hey, can you go find Arako? He seems to be missing, and it's weird to send someone to go find them, but I'm running out of options." And you go find Arako, and he is just hunting fish. And the reason for this is that his pet wolf got eaten by an eel, and he won't go anywhere until she is safe. He also has the quote of, "Shooting fish in a barrel is easy. Shooting fish in an ocean is a little harder." So yeah,
Of course.
that's just Arako. You know, he's definitely not your run-of-the-mill NPC. This guy was pretty weird,
He's
and
nuts.
I haven't seen too much about him. You know, maybe it's because nobody really quests in Vazgir that often, but I think he definitely deserves to be on
I
the
never
list,
saw
and
him
that's
in
why
game.
he's number 9. 8. Number 8 is Silvermoon Harry, and Silvermoon Harry is a pirate who can be found at Scalawag Point.
I know this
and
one.
he has an obsession with blood elves.
Yeah.
It is really weird. So
He wants to be one
Alanya is his
himself.
girlfriend, and if you talk to her, she says, "This is the only way Harry will ever talk to me.
So
I have to
weird.
keep this stupid mask on all the time." Which, listen, if that was a real life thing, you got to get out of there. That's a big red flag.
Yeah.
And then Silvermoon Harry has to repay his debt, which is why you go talk to him, and he tries to fight you, and he's like, "Do not test me, scurvy dog. I'm trained in the ways of the Blood Knights." Which, if you don't know what a Blood Knight is, it's a Blood Elf Paladin, pretty much. And then
Yeah, but that makes no sense that he's a mage then, right? Like, why is he wearing freaking robes and using like fire mage spells? Like, he should use holy spells or something. That makes no sense. But yo, in real life, imagine you are like dating someone and that person says, "Hey, you have to look like a certain race or something." Like, I want you to have darker skin, otherwise I won't accept you. Like that's so strange. Or someone has to look like, oh, you have to look like you're Asian, but you're not Asian or something. Like, you should never date someone like that. Like this girl should just dump this hairy guy.
And he talks about how Blood Elf treasures, unlike any other, it's not just the gold or the silk or the gems used as materials. Sindori craftsmanship is valuable in and of itself. And so after that, you're like, all right, well, that guy was weird, but I'm never going to see him again. But then he reappears in Battle for Azeroth, where Harry is hired by the Alliance to help establish Fort Victory in Nazmir on Zandalar, and he's tricked into believing he'd be working with Blood Elves, but instead it was Blood Trolls. So overall, this guy's weird as shit.
He's a meme.
He's number 8. 7. Number 7 is Dej the Wise, and Dej is a gnome mage in Drustvar, and he just lives randomly in the middle of nowhere in the mountains.
I've missed this one.
I remember finding this guy being like, wait, who is this? Why haven't I seen this before? And I guess because I haven't really quested much in Drustvar, but he constantly just walks around a campfire talking to Tap, pausing to unsuccessfully test a fire spell on it. And once you kill him, you can actually get the Tap the Pig quest, which gives you Tap the Pig as a pet. So if you haven't gotten that yet, there you go. I just got you a free pet. It. And so while researching this, I was like, this is so weird. What does this even mean? So I found on Wowhead, somebody commented, named Dej the Wise, and they said, hey, World of Warcraft fans, a message to all the players who found Dej the Wise and his little piglet friend Tap. I would like to thank everybody. 6 years ago, my brother and I came up for the concept for Dej the Wise one afternoon at Blizzard Studios. His brother works for Blizzard, and the idea was Dej was going to be a very small in stature with a bit of a punch fire mage who likes to drink and cast mixed up spells. Dej is actually Jedi, but spelled backwards. And Dej is actually an old modified AD&D character they created 38 years ago in 1985.
Wow.
And they are lucky to have him put in the expansion of the game, back when, I guess, BFA was the expansion. So that was it.
So much history to it.
The lore of Dej. You can read more about him if you go over there and read about him or just research it. But I just think he's weird, right? He's just this random gnome mage in the mountains. He's got a bunch of animals all around. There's like a raccoon in his bed.
Oh, wow.
It's just like, what's going on over here?
I think they are like those animals because like he doesn't even keep his room. He keeps practicing spell casting outside, so like look, everything's a mess. So of course animals come in, they feel at home here because it's like more warm. There's like even like fire here and stuff. They can just sleep on this pillow near to the fire and be warm.
He's just this random gnome mage in the mountains. He's got a bunch of animals all around. There's like a raccoon in his bed.
The raccoon is so cool.
It's just like, what's going on over here? But I love it. I think it's, it kind of reminds me of in The Hobbit, the Radagast the Brown a little bit, just having all these animals in his house and stuff. Although he's trying to like cast spells on them instead of actually saving them or whatever. But overall, he's pretty weird, and that's why he's number 7. 6. Number 6 is Gordon McKellar, the assistant confetti cannon operator in Stormwind. Swimming? And at first you're like, okay, whatever. He's just some random guy working on fireworks. But then he starts swimming around. And that is really what pushed it over the edge for me. Like, at first I was like, all right, this guy is a little weird. But then you see him start swimming around.
There's
and it's
like, water.
There's so many questions. How does he do this, right? Like
magic.
Does he have some sort of evil powers? And he might actually, because he is here because he drops the Doomsayer robes. And you disguise yourself as a Doomsayer for an hour. It's a toy that you can get. There's actually another version for the Horde, Doomsayer. And that would be Charles Ghastly, an undead, but I don't think that guy swims around.
Isn't there like some theory where everyone that is like a Doomsayer in WoW is corrupted by the old gods or something, that there's like void influence and that's how the Doomsayers came to be or something? I think I read some crazy theory about the Doomsayers with the void and the old gods or so somewhere on a forum. It's insane. But there are like so many theories also about NPCs in WoW. It's crazy. Like you can research this for like weeks and you still find stuff about like some dark theories about this NPC and that. And there's so many NPCs that are apparently the secret love child of some famous characters. It's like there's like a lot of weird stuff in WoW. That's true. Even NPCs.
And that would be Charles Ghastly, an undead, but I don't think that guy swims around, so he's definitely not as weird. So The fact that he's swimming around is what really bothers me, right?
I think it's just a bug.
Like, how is he doing it? I'm genuinely
And they were lazy to fix
interested
it.
in how he is able to swim around, because I feel like I haven't seen really anybody else in the history of World of Warcraft just swimming around like they're in space. You know what I mean? So for that reason alone, I felt he had to be on the list, and that's why he's number 6. 5. Number 5 is Dude Brule, and Dude Brule is a Drogbar that wanders around the Stone Dark Grotto in High Mountain with his right fist up. And adventurers can fist bump him to receive the 1 hour fist bump buff, the description of which reads, fist bumped a Brule. Nice.
I like him.
The
He's
good
cool.
kind of weird, right? Like Silver Moon Harry was the bad kind of weird, but this guy is the good kind of weird. He just walks around trying to fist bump everybody. He's trying to improve that morale. Cool. Like, this guy should have his own achievement. You know what I mean? Like, this should be an achievement of go fist bump Dude Brule, because this is like a...
Yeah, this achievement gives you something as well. Like maybe a toy where you can fist bump people, like a new emote or something, or him as a pet or something. That would be cool. No, but that should reward you a toy so you can like fist bump people. That would be so cool.
This is like a necessary task that every World of Warcraft player should do. And I really do love the fact that this is just his entire existence. He just wants to walk around
and fist bump
some people, improve the morale, and just make everybody happier. It's like, yo, what's up, man? Fist bump, right? Like, I feel like Dude Brule is the type of guy that would love to be a greeter at Walmart, you know?
Yeah,
like he gets older, he doesn't really care about making money or do anything. He just wants to make people happy, right? You walk in, he's like, yo, what's up, man? Fist bump. Like, that's the vibe I get from him. And so, even though he's weird, he's a good kind of weird.
Yeah.
And that's why Dude Brule is number 5.
Yeah, he's higher in the list.
Number 4 is Zenkiki. And Zenkiki is a troll druid that's an initiate of the Cenarian Circle.
Isn't that guy that constantly, like, accidentally has, like, accidents with his spells, and he sometimes shapeshifts into the wrong form and stuff? Yo, he's so funny. I did that quest. It was really fun. You have to, like, I think purify some creatures or get rid of some creatures, right? And yeah, and you have to help cleanse the Cenarian Circle, the land. You have to help them cleanse it, right? And yeah, this is what I also mentioned when we ever get sort of Cataclysm 2.0 for WoW, where like old zones are being revamped. Like, there needs to be more cleansing done to the Plague Lands, because the Cenarian Circle, they have been around for a while. Like, those druids have been cleansing the land. They should have gained, like, some more ground, right? So I hope in the next update the area is larger and there's, like, at least half the map cleansed or so.
4 is Zenkiki, and Zenkiki is a troll druid that's an
initiate
of the Cenarian Circle, like, and you receive a quest to go help him essentially learn how to become a druid and how to, like, play his class, right? So you take him out into the wild to kill some plagued animals, and he is really struggling. He turns into cat form and he just starts leaping all over and roaring and meowing and hitting everything but the enemy.
On
and then he turns
water
into a bear.
sometimes.
He's unsure if he's even hitting the target. And then he turns into his aquatic form and he's stuck on his back and he needs you to help push him over. But I think my favorite one is when he goes into boomkin form and he just spam moonfires himself. And it genuinely made me laugh out loud. 'Cause I was like, what is going on? So you might be thinking, okay, well, this guy's just some dumb troll druid, just like the hunter we saw in Vaz'jir, right? But Zenkiki's actually done a lot. He helped defend Sethria's roost on Mount Hyjal against the minions of Ragnaros. He was sent as an investigator of the primals by the Cenarian Circle, although he said he had trouble getting his flight form to work.
I think those are his beginnings. Like, I'm not sure about the order of the events, but wasn't he introduced with Cataclysm? Or when was it actually introduced? Maybe he did all that after the quest, because during the quest he actually learns more about like his spells and stuff, and I think he becomes a healer at some point, right?
Circle, although he said he had trouble getting his flight form to work. He appeared in the Dream Grove when Malfurion named a new Archdruid, although when everybody celebrated by turning into bears, cats, moonkins, or flight forms, he transformed into a lion seal. But then he becomes an assistant to the Archdruid in order to learn, and in BFA, he was part of the dual Cenarian Circle Earthen Ring forces, aiding Magni Bronzebeard to heal Silithus from the Wounds Champion. And in Dragonflight, he joined the Dragonscale Expedition and traveled to the Shady Sanctuary in the Onaran Plains of the Dragon Isles, where he can be seen speaking with Thistlee Crow. And so even though he's a weird NPC, he's made quite the journey and quite the progress, and that's why he's number 4.
Yeah, he's
3.
Cool.
Number 3 is Phil Gresham, and he's a vendor in Borealis that sells shoes, but he also will shine your shoes And
Wait,
he
what?
just really creeps me out. I'm not going to lie. So one thing I thought was that
I've
he had
seen him
really
before.
tiny feet. And I was like, that's really weird. Like he sells shoes, he shines shoes, but he has these
I think that's a glitch. I think his feet are partially in the ground stuck or something.
really tiny feet or tiny boots, but it turns out I think his feet are just clipped into the ground. Because
Yeah,
when I
I
look up
think so
actual
too.
pictures of him, it looks like he has normal sized feet.
It's just
and
a
then when you
glitch.
talk to him, he just sounds completely wasted. He's just like, oh, bits and bobs is all wasted up. Right? It's just I couldn't understand what he was saying. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, he really just kind of creeps me out. I contemplated putting him higher up on the list because I'm like, he's not as weird as some of these other people, but like the vibe he gives off is just this really weird vibe. So it's a bit of an unconventional one, but I still wanted to put him on the list. And because of how weird he is to me, I put him at number 3. Number 2 is Griftha, and Griftha is actually one of the most reoccurring NPCs in the entire game, appearing in every expansion except for Wrath of the Lich King. And Griftha is pretty much a scam artist that just is constantly trying to screw people over. According to Wowpedia, Griftha was initially located in the lower city markets of Shattrath, trying to sell his wares to unsuspecting bypassers, and early on he was standing next to Peacekeeper Jadar, who often contradicted and questioned Griftha's claims about his wares, leading to amusing conversations. But for a short time, Griftha was exiled from the city due to the endless reports of his shady business practices. However, when Zul'Aman was rediscovered, Griftha was let back into Shattrath. In Cataclysm, Griftha started selling his stuff at the Dark Moon Fair. In Pandaria, he was at the Global Bazaar and Kunlai Summit. In Draenor, he actually traveled to Draenor and sold some of his useless junk to garrison troops in Talador, and there's a standing order to rough him up a bit.
There should be an achievement where if you find this guy at all the spots or somewhere, like that would be actually cool if we had like more achievements like that in game, where there's certain NPCs that appear in multiple locations, and if you find them at each location, you get some sort of reward at the end, right? Like you get an achievement, maybe it comes with something, maybe a battle pet or something, or a toy. That would be so cool.
In order to get a refund. In Legion, he's in the Hall of Shadows, which is the Rogue Order Hall. In BFA, he travels to Dazar Alor in Zuldazar, where he sells his wares on the port of Zandalar. Somehow, he then made it into Shadowlands, where he's in the Broker's Den of Oribos, and in Dragonflight, he is found selling his amulets and other goods on the sly at the Obsidian Throne in the Waking Shores. So Griftha is easily one of the most notorious weird NPCs in World of Warcraft, and because of that, I had to put him at number 2.
Who's one?
And number 1 is Bud Nedreck, which is obviously a play on words for redneck.
Wrath of the Lich King.
And in Burning Crusade, he was the well-spoken, often snooty explorer that Griftha sent players to just outside Zul'Aman. Griftha's note was short and to the point. It said, "Listen up, Bud. This be the last fool I send until you pay me all you be owing. No more stalling." So he owed Griftha a bunch of money, apparently. And so the main thing is Bud is looking for treasure, and he knows Zul'Aman probably has a bunch of treasure in it, and so he pretty much wants the players to go into Zul'Aman and do all the dirty work for him. Then, in Wrath of the Lich King, Bud and his band of treasure seekers and troll slayers have moved on to Grizzly Hills in search of new profits, but his fate at Zul'Aman had an unfortunate side effect, which is Bud pretty much lost his mind and thought he was a troll complete with a troll mask. His band of cohorts, not wanting to leave Bud behind, use him as troll bait by using his fragile state of mind to sick him on the local trolls of the area. Bud thought he's playing troll tag, but mostly what he was doing was knocking trolls silly with a frying pan, all while happily shouting tag to any he happened to hit. And then you think he's done after he thinks he's a troll and he's gone crazy, but he actually makes an appearance in Cataclysm where his ship gets sunk in Vajir at the opening sequence for that zone. He also appears in the Thistle Shrub Valley of Tanaris near the entrance of Uldum along with Adara. And Bud and the others were planning to drive a caravan into Uldum to search for artifacts, but they get ambushed by some pygmy, and Bud actually concocts a crazy plan to get the team and a Romkahen prince out of Tolvir City, which actually works. And that's pretty much the story of Bud Nedreck. He also appears in your garrison for a little bit, whatever. But he's just a really weird NPC that has this crazy backstory, right? Like he's in Burning Crusade. He's got a note from Griftha to repay his debt, but he becomes this big thing in Zul'Aman where he's hunting treasure. And then he's in Wrath of the Lich King hitting trolls. He thinks he's a troll. Then he's like saving everybody in Cataclysm. Like, it's so weird. And I really do think
there's no
he's
connection
like one of the
here.
most notorious weird NPCs in World of Warcraft.
Like, the thing is, there's no connection with Bud, right? Like, how did he stop being crazy? This is something I don't get. Like, is this ever explained, like, how he becomes normal and the savior of people? I'm very confused, but he's an adventurous guy, so I see why he's on number one.
Like, it's so weird.
Disconnected
and
with
I really
right?
do think he's like one of the most notorious weird NPCs in World of Warcraft, and for that reason, he's number one. Hey.
Wow, that was interesting. Yo, let me give this one a thumbs up. I actually loved the Pointless Top 10 series by wowcrendor. Like, there are some NPCs that I knew about. I also knew about Bud because I was like questing there and you have to deal with some frost trolls and stuff there, right? But I didn't know that he actually turns normal. He appears again. I only remember him with the mask. I didn't know he was also in like other expansions. But that guy swimming with the fireworks and with the doomsayers, like, I think that's just on bug. I don't think he has special powers because there's so many bugs. Just like this guy with the small feet is just a glitch. But I think it was cool that we had this troll druid. What was his name again? But it was very cool because Zen Kiki is his name, because this also explains some of the lore of behind the troll druids, because trolls became literally druids because they were trained by others and stuff, right? And they are like still new to it, and some are also training now with the Circle of Scenarios and stuff, right? So this is very, very good for the lore. And yeah, what is the weirdest NPC you have encountered in WoW? Let me know in the comments section. And if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time.